Wait, what, what's wrong with my voice? I don't know. I don't know. Where am I? Where am I? What is the? Where am I? Sorry. It's one of my impressions, but apparently I'm Stitch. It's not working. I'm not going that way. I need to go that way. Okay, give me a second. No. Looking, looking. Where have I put it? I don't know. I don't know. Well, shoot. Oh, it's right here. Okay, okay. Oh. Jump. Okay, okay. You just you just need to give me a moment. Ohana means family. You're my family. Okay, okay, okay. Okay. Give me a moment. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And here I am. Okay. We're gonna go. Okay. That's much better. Silly Stitch. Apparently, oh, I have to go potty. No, just kidding. I just wanted to come in and say hi to everybody. Now, to give you an idea, this is my first time into VR chat. I worked all day. There we go. Okay, I worked all day trying to get this working, and I did. See? Hi. Okay, so unfortunately for me, I can't really use my avatar unless I'm in a hotel. And well, this is the last night of me being in a hotel, but I did treat myself for my birthday. And look what I got accomplished. I got inside VR. I'm free to roam the world. You gotta admit, those are some nice nails. Anyway, I'm still working things out, and I gotta figure out how to get what do you call it? The chat log. Once I get the chat log, I'll be able to read and do everything like that. But this is going to be my first transmission. To give you an idea, when I wait, where should I start? Oh, hi. I guess I should introduce myself. Sorry, I guess my eyes are wandering. Let's go over here. Okay. Anyway, hi, my name's Lawnmower Girl, Big Sis Selmore, and I want to give a shout out to everybody who's shown up and supported me over this last year. Back in July, for those that didn't know, I drove out to my friend's Dr. Sin's or Altaloons. I will refer to Altaloon as Dr. Sin. She has since rebranded to Dr. Sin. Dr. Synapse. I went out to go visit her and her husband and this little guy called Prince, and it's a little what do you call it? A pug. Anyway, I went out there. I had a good time, but let me tell you about the story, okay? This whole adventure began from this last year. Back around this time, well, actually, just in a little bit, my friend, she was holding a stream, and she challenged everybody to step into where they are not comfortable with, right? And oh, by the way, she gave me this new form, this new body last January for my birthday. And it took me a year to get it all taken care of and get it into VR. Anyway, I don't want to get off track. So anyway, I sat there. Gosh, I gotta stop that. I'm always saying I sat there. I sat there. If you listen to all my videos, yeah, I'm reflecting a lot, right? And I'm just like, I sat there, and well, it's because I'm usually in my car or my van. See, I'm in van life. Uh, I've been kind of stranded in one spot for about 4 years now. I got around for 2 years, and then, people tried taking my catalytic converter, it melted off and just hurt my engine, and so now I just sit in one single spot, but it's like my little 6 by 15 apartment. Anyway, I have been working behind the scenes, and this last year, she sat there and oh, look, my earring, it's all going off. Okay, anyway, sorry. She challenged us to move forward, to I'm going to try and hold my head really still so you guys don't have the camera jumping all over because since I'm looking into the mirror. Anyway, to do something we're not used to. And this is my chance, right? This is my chance to sit there and become something more, to go beyond my boundaries, to test myself, to become uncomfortable. I might be in van life, but I was going all over Colorado. I could tell you about, oh my gosh, there's this one spot where when you go out into oh geez, what's it called? I even wrote a story about the place. But anyway, it's a burned down place. I'm sure I'll remember. It's not Erie. It's in the mountains, and it was an old mining town. And in this mining town, everything burnt down except for one building. And in this one building, they sold feed, like nuts or sunflower seeds, stuff like that. And if you go over here to this pile of lumber that's just sitting on the ground, well, you go over to that and you hold on, you get to have princess moments where if you hold the stuff right there in your hand, all of a sudden you'll be swarmed by a whole bunch of little chipmunks, and they run and they get on your shoulders and they go all over the place, and they're so accustomed to people. It's just it's so fun. Oh, I love it. I should go up there again if I could just remember the name of the place. It's like a 2-hour drive from where I'm at. Anyway, that aside, so this last, whoops. Oh, by the way, that's the model. You like it? Oh wait, you can't see me spinning in my chair. Okay, so anyway, she challenged everybody in her lobby to go beyond themselves. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a brand new Nissan Leaf, This is like my bestie, okay? I went through 2 years of depression, just massive. First, my mom died early, and then the very next year, my dog died, and that just set me over the thing. I just catch this out. I was like, "We're gonna do 100 days of positivity." 3 weeks in, my dog died, right? Anyway, destroyed me. But during that time, I wrote a whole bunch of really good music. I wrote, and I created those, the Myths and Legends series, which I'm continuing. It's part of my lore, but you know, that's how I got to this form. But that's coming up, okay? Okay, so anyway, I got a brand new Nissan Leaf. This is a chance. I'm gonna reset my life. I'm gonna become something more. Because I'm done. I've been doing van life. It's almost been 7 years now, since 2019. So 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 years or something like that. Anyway, I got a brand new Nissan Leaf and I charted my course. I charted it from Colorado through Kansas, through Missouri, all the way down to Kentucky, then Tennessee, or was it Tennessee, then Kentucky? I don't know. My geography sucks. Anyway, I finally embraced everything for change. I was looking to go out there, not only say hello to a couple people in the lab, but look for a job and become more stable in my life. So I piled everything I owned into my little Nissan Leaf and I went onto the road. Well, let's see. First, well, of course, I got it fully charged. I got onto the road. And, you know, just like typical story fashion, okay? Like, there was a rain, okay? And if you know about the hero's journey, it's a symbol of crossing over into death. You know, you're going into the spiritual realm. And this is one heck of a spiritual journey, let me tell you. So anyway, I go through, it's raining kind of hard. I make it to my first checkpoint. I charge up and I wait. And this is so fun. Some people don't like it, but I love electric vehicles because when you charge, you know, you might have to be there for a couple hours. And if you are, well, it gives you time to reflect, go and explore the sights and all that. So I created a vlog series while I was driving. And I just love this. Okay, anyway. So I was working my way out. I made it into Missouri. Oh my gosh. Missouri. Before we get to Missouri, because we don't talk about Missouri, I was in Kansas. And it was the first part of my journey where I would have to brake because with the Nissan Leaf, it doesn't have cooling. It has to air cool, so you have to be kind of manageable. I think the newer models do have cooling on them now, but the one I had did not. Anyway, I made it. I went to. I was in Kansas. I was in Hays. I was in Hays, Kansas. That's right. Hays is like almost the halfway point through Kansas, but it's also muggy. That's where all the moisture and stuff just starts hitting you because I'm going to be honest. Oh, okay. I did not mean to come that close. So anyway, I sat there, this Leaf. No, I'm a tall girl, okay? I am 5'10", okay? Sometimes 11 if I have good shoes on. Anyway. The Nissan Leaf is not designed for tall people. But everybody in Colorado is tall. If you walk around here, the majority of us are 5'10" or above. Like, there's people taller than me. Ashley Zelda, she's 6'3". She's a Amazon goddess. Oh my gosh. Anyway. Can you imagine that? 6'3"? Like, I look up and I'm like, uppies. So anyway, I sat there. I had one foot hanging out the window. I couldn't run the car because it was already at the overheat kind of area. So I just had to grin and bear it. And if you see the video, you'll see me just be like, and because it was not comfy at all. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. So I continued my journey. I got on and I kept driving. My goal was to make it to Leavenworth, Kansas, because that's where my mom was buried. And I made it there in early July. And now, remember how I was talking about the hero's journey? Now, I'm writing this all into a story, okay? So I'm trying to not give you away all the details, but some of this stuff, like, seriously, I'm just going to sit back for a second and talk to you because it's so coincidental. Like, life is a story, right? Life is a highway. Oh, that was horribly out of key. Anyway, um, there was this old man and he was at the train station. If you look in Leavenworth, Kansas, you'll see that there's a train station and a carousel, and this is the area where it's at. And I sat there. I sat there. I sat there. I sat there. Anyway, sorry, this is me sitting on a chair because I'm trying to remain still. So I go there. And it's kind of sprinkling a little bit. My car's charging off over in the way. It's a public free charger. Oh my gosh. If you know what you're doing with EVs, you can get charging for free. So my trip to go from Colorado all the way to Atlanta, Georgia cost me under $60. And that's just incredible, right? Like, because that's a 1,500-mile trip. Took me 5 days to get there, 5 or 6 days. Also took me 5 or 6 days to get back until, the impromptu helicopter ride. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So anyway, check this out. I show up and I'm just looking around. Now, a lot of times you'll hear me say, "Oh, I hope you have a beautiful day." I'll talk to anybody, someone at Starbucks. I'm like, "Hey, Starbucks, how you doing?" They hand me my drink. I'm like, "Glug, glug, glug." I'm like, "Oh, thank you so much. You have a beautiful day." And they're like, "Oh, thank you." And they all know me here, by the way. Every Starbucks. They got my drink down. Quad shot. Excellent. May I please have a quad venti, extra hot, non-fat, no whip, peppermint mocha, half of the sugar, no whipped cream. Please leave no room. I have an allergy for nuts. And oh, the last one doesn't really matter, but please stir it. Sometimes I say that because they forget things. Anyway, they even I'll tell you about the rest later. Anyway, so I'm walking around just enjoying it. I took a lot of pictures and stuff like that of the area so I could put it in the video to show everybody. And this old guy, he just sees me and he goes, "Hey!" And I look over and I'm like, "Hi." And he goes, "What time is it?" It's early morning, like 10 o'clock. And he goes, "Oh yeah," and he just started talking to me. So, I'm polite, okay? So I go over to his table and he sits there and he just starts talking. Now, this guy, I think, was running from the mob. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, I think he might have been expecting to die because of the way he was talking. Because while he was talking and all that, I thought he got to a proper, what do you call it, breaking point in the conversation. And I was like, "Well, that's awesome. You have a beautiful day." And eventually, he kept doing that. And he's like, "What's so beautiful about it?" I was like, "Well, as long as we do our best to step forward and try and have a good day just to make things positive, we have the ability to go forward and make things more positive." He goes, "What's so beautiful about moving forward in the day?" And I'm just like, this bitch, I'm sorry. I was just thinking that in my mind because, like, this guy's challenging everything I'm talking about. So I sit down next to him and we're sitting there and we're talking. And he starts talking about how he was running from his life. He's about 30, 40 years older than me, right? So anyway, this guy, he sat there and he was making comments about how he was like running from his family, but he was being chased or something, and he didn't want to go to Missouri because he knew if he went to Missouri he would be caught. And I'm just like, that's weird. So anyway, oh, I scratched my nose. Anyway, while I'm talking to him now, like I said, I'm saving the bulk of the story for metaphors in my next animation that I'm working on, but I'm just trying to give you a good gist. So this guy sat there, and I didn't actually put it together that I think he was actually going there to die until months later. Anyway, we're having a conversation, and a lot of his life paralleled a lot of my own. He was like a person, like in the hero's journey. He would have been a warning, an older mentor in a way who was offering me advice, not the most subtle way of advice, but he was offering me his experience, and I was able to remember him and hold it with me. So he will forever live on. But it was amazing, the parallels. And so eventually we got talking, and at the end of the conversation I said, "Well, you have a beautiful day." He goes, "What's so beautiful about it? How many times do I gotta tell you that this day is not gonna be beautiful?" And I was just like, huh? I go, "Okay, fine. You have a terrible day." He goes, "That's better." It's like, okay. And off I went. And I picked up my car. Oh, I love that Nissan Leaf. I really did. That Nissan Leaf was fun. I'm a tech. I'm a techie. I've been a techie. I've been tearing apart electronics since I was 3, to my dad's dismay, because I didn't always put it back together. His poor TV. Anyway, so I went on, and now this guy was sitting next to the river, and it was drizzling, and not much, just like a mist almost. So I went to the hotel. And I decided, since it was almost the 4th, that I would stay there for a couple days, go and visit my mom, and spread my dog's ashes out, because Dot, who was my apocalypse dog, my spiritual animal, made manifest. And I didn't spread her ashes that day. I still have them. But I gave my best to my mom. Took me forever to find her grave, actually, because it's in Leavenworth Cemetery, and that thing is massive. And you don't really visit cemeteries too much, but I try and visit at least once a year, if I can. So, anyway, I'm sitting there, and like, my friend Alta, she's sitting there, and she's like, "You need to go out and have fun," but I am shy in real life. Like, I see people, and I'm like, "Okay, hi." I get nervous. I get shy. I can talk to you guys all the time online, but it really takes a lot of courage for me to do it. And so anyway, 4th of July went, and I got back on the road on the 5th. And my first crossing, oh my gosh. I sat there. Well, I was in the car, so I was sitting there. And I hope this is streaming. I have no idea if this is, so I might just be talking to myself. It might not even be recording. So if you're there, hi. Thanks for joining. I'm rambling about how I got to the point where a semi hit me and railed me about 30, 40 yards, 30 yards, 20, 30 yards off of the highway. We'll get to that. Uh, watch my phone ring, and I'll be like, "Oh," my lawyer will be like, "Shh, shh, shh, quiet, quiet, quiet." Just kidding. Anything I will tell you is publicly known knowledge. So anyway, I look at Missouri and I'm like, okay, there's one stop, one that I can make it to, but it's at the edge of my um barrier or range limit. But it was just enough to where I might be able to enjoy some air conditioning a little bit, because when you're in a Nissan Leaf EV, windows up, no air conditioning, so you can maximize your mileage. So I went there and I was driving around and I went to the Walmart there. And I'm going to tell you right now, Walmart, I really, really do appreciate you having all the Electrify America charging hotspots. But the connection I needed was always broken. Okay. So I went to this and it was down. It didn't work. And there were no other chargers on the maps at all. But if you've been driving EV, you know a lot of hotels might have a hookup. And just before this journey, I made a purchase. I bought, for a just in case scenario, a converter to convert the Type 2 chargers of Teslas to my Nissan Leaf. And it's a slow charge, 4 hours to get a good charge. But anyway, I found this hotel. I grabbed the charger, hooked it on, stuck it in. Oh, I got the hiccups. And I sat there for 4 hours. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, though, because I was looking for a charger for quite a while and I was running out of power. But I got power. It was a good trip. It really was. So it's an experience, and that's what Dr. Sin, the Synapse, or her Alta, I'll probably just call her Alta mostly because she hadn't changed at that time. Anyway, that's what it was all about. Now, before I went into New Jersey, or not New Jersey, before I went into Missouri, I stood at the edge of Leavenworth. And for the first time in my life, I was going beyond my comfort zone, because I've made it. I've been to Leavenworth before because that's where my mom was, and I used to go visit her and all that stuff. So going to Missouri and moving forward, it was exciting. It was incredible. The feeling, the rush, the unknown. It's in front of you. And when that happens in your life, you grow. And I was going to go and I was going to take photos and I was going to take some video of a whole bunch of different areas. But when I was in Missouri, it was nothing but one big long corridor of I-70 that went straight. And it was nothing but green trees, like, over the path each time. And so it would have been the exact same footage the entire way. And since this was my first time, I didn't really make a lot of stops unless I had to charge. Because it's a 5-day journey with the way I had to plan it. Because you got to realize I'm sleeping in my car or grabbing a hotel in Extremes. And I grabbed a hotel in Kentucky. You know what about Kentucky? That's where my father was from. And I was going to go find his grave, but I was never allowed to go to his funeral. And I never understood why. But rest in peace, Dad, Lieutenant Colonel. You had a very distinguished career. I can respect you for that. You might not have had any emotions, but you did your best by me, my twin sister, and my older sister. And I have an older brother too. But I don't know how they interacted. I don't. So anyway, I'm driving down Missouri, and I'm driving down Missouri, and I'm like, still driving down Missouri. Oh my gosh, how long is Missouri gonna keep going? Oh gosh. So I'm just so I'm like, okay, I need to charge. At this point, I'm near Louisville. Is Louisville in Missouri or is that Kentucky? I don't know, but that was my next charge spot. And I was gonna meet Lynn there. But she became really busy. She had a new job and she was like jumping around. She's at the forefront of doing so many innovative things with AI. She is so incredible. She doesn't sit there and go boop 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 boop. Show me a picture of Stitch with the banana. No. She goes into the meta layers of the programming and she designs things by layering it. She was making noise maps, and she was, oh gosh, it's just, she's incredible because she, like people out there who use AI, who just pop in a prompt and that's done, that's where you get a lot of your AI slop. This is beyond that, so beyond it, cutting edge stuff that she was doing. And she said what I was working with in my experiments, I was not doing cutting edge stuff, but meh, I just want to tell my story in the end. So anyway, I charge up in Louisville and I go on and I keep driving and I'm pretty sure this is Missouri still. And then I'm like, okay, I'm almost out of Missouri. And then you turn and you start heading that way in Missouri. So not only do you go all the way one way on Missouri, once you get to the border, you shoot that way. And you go all the way down to the bottom of the border. And then at the bottom of the border, you hop over into Kentucky. I think it's Kentucky. Like I said, my geography did a little matrix. Ooh. Anyway, when I was in that charger in Kentucky and I was charging, I sat there and I always try and do my best by my fellow humans because I'm sitting there and I see, there's people who are definitely better off than me and all that, and they're getting all scared and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here like plugging in my car and my windows are down because I can't run the air conditioner and I'm charging and this one guy comes over and he's like, hey, you got any change? I'm like, yeah, I do. Hold on, let me look. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have more, but here. And he's like, cool, thank you. I was, yeah, sure, no problem. Have a beautiful day. And off he went. And to see the way people reacted to this guy, like they'll roll up their windows or like they'll like if this is their car, right? What's they'll there we go. If this is their car, right? They'll roll up this window and then if he was coming around this way, because he wanted some change. If he was coming around this way, they would shut the door, lock it, and they would go around this way, just completely avoid him. And you really gotta respect anybody who's around. You don't have any idea what people have gone through. Like in my job, I dealt with drug dealers who threatened my life every single month, sometimes multiple times in a month. I dealt with junkies and meth heads. I saved a meth head's life right before they laid everybody off too. Because this guy, oh my gosh, I was at my work, right? He was doing the zombie like stuff, and then he just turned around. He saw me and I'm just sitting there and I'm just kind of observing the situation. Next thing I know, he hits the ground, starts bashing his head into the ground, and I'm like, what the heck? And so I called the cops. They came over and they put something like some type of shot they injected him with, like they were just like boom. And And hopefully his life was saved. Shortly after that, they laid us off. And then shortly after we were laid off, someone got shot over there. So maybe I got laid off just in time. Because they didn't, the drug dealers, see what the drug dealers do is they would rent an apartment. And then they'd fill that apartment with a bunch of homeless people. And those homeless people would become their dealers and their users, right? And then they will infect the rest of the complex. And I'm fearless. If I'm doing my job, I'm fearless. I've been trained. I worked with the Denver Retired Police, you know? It was all, how I came into the job. I was the only civilian who was working with them, all because I had a friend whose dad was working there. And he needed help one day. And he's like, could you help me? I'm like, sure. He's like, yeah, just go in and do these, like check the areas for me and all that. And I did such a good job that they offered me his job after he retired. And I was like, okay, sure, why not? So I did that for like 9 years, 10 years, 12 years. No, 14? Oh my God. Half of my life. Anyway, so I helped him out. I did all that wonderful stuff. And then, but when it comes down to it, it's all about confidence. Anyway, back to the story. Confidence is key. Yeah. See, if you're confident, the world will bend to you. But when you're not, they will jump on you and eat you alive. So if you don't have it, you fake it. You just can't think about it. You just got to do it. Be confident, but don't be stupid. If you're stupid, I'm going to slap you. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, I don't even know if anybody's in there. I'm guessing Ez is in there somewhere. If this did go live, Ez is in the lobby. I'm sure of it. And that's my teammate. He's like my video game bestie. He's great. I was actually going to visit him on the trip. So anyway, I continued on my journey. And when you're at, is it Louisiana? It's Kentucky, then Louisiana. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So anyway, I charged my car up that night at Kentucky. And then it was at the red zone. Once red zone, you're going to have to chill for 8 hours. So I just got a room. And oh my gosh, this room was so filthy. Like, I walked in and there were just dead flies. What was that? Did you hear that? That was really weird. Anyway, I don't even know which way I'm facing. So anyway, I sat there. Well, you probably didn't hear it, but someone just made a sound over here. Where was I? Oh yeah, the hotel room. It was gross. Like there were dead flies and roaches everywhere. And then you go over to the sink on the far end and the ceiling was caved in from like water damage or something. It was all over. So I was like, click, click, click. I took my shots. I went to the, it was in a Econo Lodge, by the way. So I took my pictures. I showed him. I was like, why are you giving me this room? And the guy's like, oh, that was our mistake. I was like, yeah, really? Because, don't. And so, like, they gave me a new room. I'm like, great. And it's the second floor. Word of advice. If you don't want to be around bugs, get higher in the levels. Like the current hotel I'm at, level 4. But I went to the second level. And I went in my room, and guess what? No, keep in mind, this is like 90-degree days at the moment. The air conditioner barely didn't even work. It's a Econo for a reason. So anyway, although I did have an amazing Caesar salad that night, so I sat there and I slept for the night, and I just wanted to get out of that hotel. It was gross, disgusting. It's one of those ones where if you have a hoodie, you put it all around you, and when you do that, just in case you don't want any bugs on you. Anyway, I got into the car and I continued down. Now, the handy part about an EV and going east is that it's all downhill, right? So if you're going downhill, you get better mileage. Now, this is in the Appalachian Mountain area at this point, and when I made it to the Louisiana Welcome Center, yeah. Now, okay. Now, if you look behind me, you see a couple, like 3 trees, right? Make those a lot bigger and covering the whole area, and about 2 times away from me from there, right? These things were huge. But it was also around dusk at this time or so, and there was a huge flock going from tree to tree, tree to tree, tree to tree. Like, it was all over. You know what it was? It was bats. Like, thousands and thousands of bats that were hanging in the trees. And I was just like, noted. That's kind of cool. I've never seen a bat swarm before. And it's pretty wicked. It's pretty wicked. If you sit there and see, I think the desk is behind me. Okay. So anyway, I sat there. And I sat there. I sat there. Did you know that? I sat there. So I continued my way down, and I started going all over these mountains that were like this and this and this, and then they go up, and then they go down, and I was getting a little concerned about my mileage, but near the end of the mountains in Georgia, I think at this point, there was a few dealerships, and I was like 80 miles away from seeing Alta, and oh my gosh, her heart is amazing. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have gone through my depression. She's amazing. I love you. Thank you. So anyway, I parked there, and I found the place to charge. I'm like, click. But my car is it just hit the red from charging, and I'm just like, or from everything, and I'm charging, and I'm just like, it's going to have to charge. And then I'm going to have to sit for multiple hours so it can cool down before I can even move on again. I'm hoping I can get out of there early enough before they come into work. And I think ultimately I was there for about 5 or 6 hours because I tried to get some sleep. Once again, like I said, my limbs are hanging out of the what do you call it? The windows and stuff. But I have my cream soda, and whenever you go on a trip, you need cream soda. So anyway, I get there and I'm working my way down. Oh, on my way there was a Buc-ee's. I like their sandwiches. They have this turkey sandwich that is just the bomb. Okay, like you just look at it and you're like, and then you're like, oh, and then you might burp a little, and then you wish you had more. But you know what I like about Buc-ee's the most too, though? They have a mango green tea, and it is delicious. And it doesn't taste very sugary, which is amazing. So anyway, I'm working my way down. Now there's one stop that I have to make because it's getting kind of late. And I think it's the last rest stop before I go down into the final 70 miles of the stretch. And it's a rest stop. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like, it's hot. Okay. It's not as hot as this gets, but it's hot. And I'm just doing my best. I'm just enjoying it. I'm looking around. I was sitting there and I was playing Pokemon Go the entire way. I got so many Pokemon to trade to everybody who might Pokemon from Pokemon Go. Nobody to trade though. Okay. Anyway, it was a nice little rest stop. A lot of business, a lot of people there. But I got my rest on, and it was 7 maybe in the morning or so, and I made my way down. Now, Alta was supposed to be there, right? But she ended up getting called into work. So I'm just like, okay. So I found a charger that she recommended. It was near Wendy's and a grocery store. Plugged in my car, and I'm sitting there for another 4 hours, and I go and get ingredients for pizza and stuff like that because I want to make her my pizza. Oh my gosh, I totally screwed up my pizza too. Oh, they said they liked it, but I think they're just being nice. Like, I totally biffed it. I biffed it hard. Um, I was not used to the elevation difference, so it changes the recipe a bit. And so, and all my yeast was dead. uh, Horrible pizza. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and I'm there for quite a while, and she's stuck at work. So I have nothing else to do. So once I get a good charge, I can now turn on my air conditioner, and I just sat in my air conditioning for hours and hours. She ended up doing, I think, a full work day. But she eventually pulled in, and I looked over, and even though I've never met her in real life, I knew it was her. I got so excited. I jumped out. I was like, ah, because it's her. Yay. Gave her a hug. She gave me a hug. We started talking. We hit it off immediately. Instant friendship. There's friendships online, but the second you meet somebody, that's when our chemistry is perfect. It was like besties. And we sat there, we talked, and she left her car there, and we drove mine back to her apartments. We're just along the way. And I finally made it. And I got to meet her boyfriend at the time, but soon to be husband. And he is an amazing soul. If you guys, I'm not gonna say his name right now because to protect his privacy, because he said goodbye to his avatar and he's living his life. So I don't know how he would. Well, person number 2, PN2. Anyway, persona. Anyway, they introduced me to a brand new dish that I have never had before. It was Guatemalan, and their version of enchiladas is a flat. It'd be what Taco Bell calls tostadas. A flat deep fried shell, and on top of it they put shredded beef, pickled beets. First time I ever ate beets. And other stuff, right? Oh my gosh, they were so I'm still thinking about it. They're so good. So we had those, and we all ate, and we had a good time. We went to the card shop, and we all got to know each other, and I was having the time of my life. I loved it out there so much. It was good. It was good for my soul. You heard that, Alta? You helped me a lot. And then I met Prince. Prince is their little pug. Now, Prince. I'm gonna skip a few steps ahead. Okay, I'm saying they end up before this. Okay, stop. I gotta slow down. Oh look, there's my belly button. I don't know if you can see it though. I'm gonna dig in it. No, just kidding. What am I trying to say? Okay. That dog, Prince, that's a character. He's funny. But before I get to that, what happened was I had everything planned out. I was gonna stay there at their place for, like, a few days or so, and then I was gonna continue on down to Florida, and in Florida, I was gonna go meet Ez, my video game bestie, and, my old bestie from growing up with, like, he's in Florida also. So I'm sitting there, you know how it goes. So anyway, my credit card company decided that rather than taking the standard payment, they were just gonna go, and they just took my entire bank account. So I had to make money and wait for a week before I had enough, or 2 no, it took 2 weeks to get the money in order to be safely traveled back, because now that I got stuck, I could no longer make the trip down to Florida. So I'm there extra time. After now, Alta and her boyfriend got married, and it worked out because I was able to watch their dog, Prince, for a week while they went off, and they enjoyed a wonderful vacation and, got to spend their honeymoon, right? And, while I'm sitting there, this is the part I was talking about. Okay, so imagine I'm sitting there and I'm, like, on my laptop, right? I'm like, "Do, do, 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 do." Now my elbows are tucked in my chest, and I'm just like, next thing I'm like, I'm like, "What? What?" I'm like, "Huh?" And this dog, like, in between my elbow, uh, and I'm just sitting there, and you remember, I'm typing, and I just feel this head, and he pokes his head out right through here, and I got this little pug head sticking and cradling his head in between my arm and, my chest, and he's just sitting there like, I'm just gonna spend time here." And he got comfy, and I was just like, "Okay." And that's when I found out. He watches TV. Because I had on the big TV in the background, I was watching Aliens, right? Which one was it? It was the new one, Romulus or something like that. And he got into it. He was watching Aliens with me, and, like, he liked the lights and stuff, and he would bark at the alien and stuff like that. It was pretty cute, right? And, and then I was sitting there and, eventually on the TV, what was the show with the white dog? American Dad. So whenever that white dog was on the TV, he would get all defensive and start barking at the TV. And just a cute, adorable dog who just wouldn't let him be. Now, the most interesting thing about this is as the trip is winding down and they're gonna work their way back, it's July 22nd. It's the anniversary of my dog's death. But he would not let me focus on it because he was constantly keeping my attention by poking his head through my arm. And then he went over and he did stuff I've never seen before. He was barking at the refrigerator or something under it. And he's like, "Bark." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Bark." I'm like, "What?" Bark, 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 bark. He kept barking. And I was like, "What?" But between each bark, and it became a game for him because it was my goal to get him outside and all that as much as possible. But he eventually got to the point where I think I became his maid servant. I'm not I'm not exactly sure, but I love that dog to death. He's awesome. Anyway, he kept me satisfied and happy and kept my mind off of my dogs. So thank you for that, Prince. They made it back. Everybody had a good time. By the way, while I was out there, like 7 other VTubers showed up. And I got a picture, and it's in one of the videos somewhere, and that was pretty amazing. Although, when, one of them showed up, all my shields went up. Like, I was completely calm and relaxed, but he triggered me in 2 different ways, and, I just and I threw all my shields up, and I just became mute, okay? And, it's not on him, it's on me. But still, like, you would have seen 2 different personalities. You would have seen, "Oh, hi, blah, 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 blah," outgoing and all that too. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep right here with my face in the pillow, and I'll see y'all in a little later. Like, anyway, oh, I'm such a dork. I really am. I'm a nerd and a dork. I'm a nork. Anyway, it came time to make my way back to Colorado because the idea now at this point was to go back to Colorado, sell my van, sell my other car, my Lexus, take that money, put it into my bank accounts, move out to Georgia, and begin anew. And so I started on that journey. And this is where I gotta be careful about what I say. But I will say a few things that, like I said, are public knowledge. The very first thing I was worried about was the Appalachian Mountains. Because I'm in my Nissan Leaf, which had 149-mile max range or rated range, right? Now, if you go slower, you get more range. But, I didn't want to go that slow. But anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm driving. And I look over and I see a semi going up the mountains. And I was like, oh, they're going pretty slow. And then I saw them turn on their hazards. But they weren't on before, right? I was like, why'd they do that? I looked up in my mirror. And just over the hill, a couple miles back, I saw another semi came over. And that was that semi driver alerting the other semi driver way behind me that they were slow and they were having issues. And so I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So anyway, he was going 40 miles per hour up the Appalachian Mountains. I was like, well, that's really slow. And he's got the whole system down, so I went behind him and I gave him his room. And whenever I saw, and that's when I learned that whenever I saw a semi coming over near or over the horizon and stuff in the back, I would hit my hazards multiple times in order just so that they know. And that worked beautifully throughout the trip. I made it back into Kentucky. Barely though. Oh my gosh. I had to get charged. I was at the point where I gotta resituate myself here. I was at the point where I had 3 miles left or something like that. I don't know. It's in my vlogs. I had a few miles left. And then I had 0 miles left. When it's 0, it's like 2 negative points. Ooh, ooh. Okay. Sorry. Anyway. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm looking on my maps, and if you ever need to look for maps, PlugShare is the way to go. And if you can't find any chargers on any of the mobile applications, just look on Apple Maps or Google Maps, and they'll highlight other ones that aren't necessarily known. Anyway, where was I? Oh. I made it back to that Econo Lodge, and I got a room again, and I got another Caesar salad. What's the name of that? I think it was a Longhorn Steakhouse. I don't know. They have great Caesar salad. Anyway, wow. I almost fell. We can't do that. So anyway, I spent the night there again, and I got the full charge just like I did before, and I continued on my journey. And I sat there and drove and drove and drove, and I had a goal leaving there. I was like, I'm going to try and make it 200 miles before I have to even think about fast charging. Because if I can manage the level 2 charging, I can get further. Well, I ended up making it 400 miles that night. I made it all the way back into Missouri. And when I was in Missouri, I had to stop actually on the highway and turn around and go back another like 10, 15 miles and then go down a long way that way, just so I can find a charger to charge up and then continue on my way. But I made it. I made it 400 miles in one setting instead of 200 or whatever. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I made it pretty far. Maybe it's 600. I don't know, 400 or 600, I don't know. I'm telling you, oh my gosh, it's a long trip. When you have to do all those charges, it instead of a trip that would take 2 days, it took me 5 to 6. So, I was a stinky Salmar. Um, so anyway, I get my charge, it's early in the morning, and I continue on my way through, Missouri, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna go by, Leavenworth again, and say hi to my mom," but the way I was on since I was on a new set of roads, it didn't take me by, Missouri, but it did take me on I-70, but it passed the exit I'm used to for taking, to go to Leavenworth, and oh, by the way, there's a gas station there. They have the bomb of pizza. It's called Casey's. And oh my gosh, I've that gas station pizza, that's something you buy and you eat it. And you know what? I figured out. I tasted it why it's so good. They use butter to like grease the pans and everything, but it's so good. But it's got to be like 3,000 calories a slice, I'm telling you. So anyway, I'm in Missouri and I'm like, do, 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 do. I'm driving. I do my other stops to where I was before. And I'm making it and I'm making it. And then I finally make it back into Kansas. But I missed, like I said, my stop on Leavenworth. So I didn't get to see my mom again. And so I held on to the ashes. That's why I still have my ashes for my dog. And I'm driving and I'm enjoying it. And I've learned my lesson about how to communicate with semis and stuff like that. And the entire way, over 5 days, I had no problems whatsoever. I turn on my hazards, blink, 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 blink. The semis would see it, they'd go into the left lane, and they would just keep going. They would just keep going and going and going. I'm like, cool, it works. I continue getting my stops, and I stopped in Hayes again. Actually, before that night, before my final night, I stopped in Salina, and I got a hotel there, and it was a great little hotel. Except, did I leave? I think I left something at that hotel. Oh well, it's gone now. So anyway, I got a nice sleep, got all showered, got all nice and well rested, and I left Salina. I went to the Walmart there to get a full, nice, happy charge. And I was like, this is it. I'm on my final stretch. Because from Salina to Hayes, where's it? Hayes and then Salina. Either way, I always mix those two up. Anyway, I make it on and I'm making my way down and I'm just enjoying it. I'm having a good ride. It's a little slow because I'm going all uphill. And like I said, Nissan Leafs, they don't want to go uphill when, if you're trying to conserve mileage. And there were 2 spots in Kansas where it was a little bit longer. You can make it, but it felt sketchy, like, okay. So I was on high alert because I'm watching my mileage, I'm watching my mirrors, I'm hitting my flashers and all that. Everything's working great. And then next thing I know, I'm checking my mirrors again. All I see, headlights, fender, big grill, not slowing. I ditched it. I had to make a split-second decision, and I was going to jump my brand new car into the side of the street or, the ditch or whatever, because this guy was just barreling down on me. And I turned just in time in that microsecond of making that decision to turn, probably saved my life. And I went flying off that highway. Next thing I know, I'm in a hospital. Then next thing I know, I'm in an airplane. I'm in Colorado. I am out of the, what do you call it? The what blah, 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 the hospital they took me to in Colorado. They gave me an Uber. They dropped me off at my van, and been doing physical therapy ever since. I wish I could tell you a lot more about things, but I'm pretty sure I got to keep it close to my chest. So, but that's where things changed mentally for me. Because I was told that I walked out of an accident that 95% of the people die from. And what that did is it made me experience life differently now. I was scared for a while driving, but I have to drive in order to survive. That's what Instacart's all about. If you ever need money, Instacart is an amazing way to make money. Uh, you don't use a bunch of gas, and if you enjoy shopping, you're gonna have a great time, and you can make some really good money. In the height of COVID, I made $1,000 a week. Wow, that's memories right there. When COVID happened, nobody was getting their groceries and stuff, so I was like, you know what? I'll get their groceries for them. And I worked and I worked and I worked, and I did. I was making 1,000 a week about, and I mean it fluctuated, of course, but it was so funny too because when you get people's groceries to them, they sat there and they would like make sure, like, after you set them down, I'd get back in my car, right? Then you see them come out with sanitizer and stuff, and they're like spraying all their groceries down and stuff, and a lot of people are scared. I was outside the entire time during COVID, so I was exposed to it all. And anyway, for the past 5 months, this has been 6 months. Let's see, July 29th is when the accident happened. So August, September, October, November, December. Oh, so just 5 months. Look at that. It's only been 5 months. But anyway, in that 5 months, um, I see things a lot differently. I'm definitely motivated. That's why I'm here right now, because I want to do more. I want to help and just talk to more people and just have a great time with each and every one of you. Yeah, I do. That's why I spent. I took my credit card and I got 4 nights for my birthday at this hotel, and I got this lovely model here for you, and the hair's working, mm, and uh, because I'm going to move forward. I'm going to move forward into this year, and I want y'all to come with me. We're going to rule this year. Do you realize everything is stacking up in our favor? And yeah, sure, their politics are crazy and all that stuff, but if you ignore that, just ignore it and look and embrace the people around you, oh, it's amazing. That's why I say each and every one of you are amazing. Because in this universe, like, here, let me look up here real quick. Like, pretend this is our universe, right? And there could be a planet that looks like this somewhere. But the chances of us being here and being alive and conscious and making decisions and surviving, and it's just incredible. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's aliens or whatever else craziness is in this universe. What matters is us. When we're together and we're working with each other, oh, we can do amazing things. And so that's why I got this opportunity to be here, because I wanted to get closer to each and every one of you, and I'm going to dominate this year, and I want you all to be with me. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this. There's the whole universe is here for me to play, and you as well, because each and every one of us is amazing, wonderful, and great. And No matter what happens, a semi can throw you off the highway. You can be in pain for 6 months, 5 months, whatever it is. Yeah, things happen, but they change us. And when they change us, it's for the good. Because now I have a new experience to add to my life. I survived. I'm here. And so are you. So let's do this together, right? Don't you think? Like, each and every one of us is unique. And we can offer so many things. In this last year, there were a couple people who also helped after I got back to Colorado. Otter, I was on his, shout out to you. He invited me onto a show, and we started talking. And that was the beginning of me reincorporating myself and getting the nerve to turn on the cameras again. Because I didn't want to. After everything happened, like, you don't understand the pain I was in. I had to literally pull myself into my van on my stomach because my knees and my legs were just in so much pain. I'm a lot better now. Physical therapy's been helping. But we're here. And let's take the most advantage of it. Why not? People say go out there and touch grass. Well, I've definitely been doing that for about 6 or 7 years, but it's just, I lose sight of all the political stuff. Don't follow it. It's just going to taint your heart. If you want to, here's my one bit of advice for you on politics. Besides ignoring it, because it's definitely a show. And if anybody has shown us that politics is a show, it's the lead actor right now. Gosh, that guy's everywhere. But he's definitely shown us that it's all just a show. So let's ignore it. Let's just make our lives for each other better. Let's keep the focus of those people around us and ourselves. I've survived so many different things that... Oh, wait, I wonder if this will work. Okay. This is my home world, by the way. Okay. I'd show you around, but like I said, I'm trying to keep my headset still because I'm looking in the mirror and I want you to not have an image that's going all over the place. Like I said, I'm doing all of this for you and for me because the more I engage with you, even though I can't see chat or anything else right now. I don't even know if this is recording. I can hear my laptop running, but I don't even know if it's broadcasting, so I might have been just talking to the air. I'll get there, though, step by step. And I can't wait to keep talking with you and going on adventures and just interacting and bringing each other up. Isn't that what's important? Be nice, be kind, harm no others. Understand that you don't understand what other people are going through. Because, yeah, I've gotten up from a semi. I broke up a fight in that King Soopers where I put myself in between two people who had lethal weapons, and I stopped that and I diffused that situation. I had the guy draw that samurai sword on me in the Walmart parking lot. Got through that situation, and it was because I was defending people. You gotta be on the side that's good, on the side that's right, because nothing really matters except for your word and who you are. And it is my happy love and pleasure that I've been taking you guys on this journey. I've been doing this for 3 years now, and I've met some of the most amazing people. And Alien Star. Shout out to Reiko Star. She's pretty awesome. Always in a good mood. And then you got Madamus. Madamus of the Back Library. He had me on recently, and we had a great time. We talked for 4.5 hours, and then we kept talking after the stream ended, and like that was fun. We should do that again. And so I have a lot of things in store for you. I know I've just been talking, but it's what I can do best right now. Tomorrow morning, my hotel is over. Uh-oh. Headset battery low. Please plug in your headset. I think that's a good call. I think it's time we say goodnight. Just remember to do your best. Be your best. And always realize that you're amazing, wonderful, and great. You all have a beautiful night. Sweet dreams. This that hurts. Okay. Let me pull back. Okay. Okay. Look how close I am. Look at my little nose. Look into the stars and realize you're amazing. Don't let anyone tell you anything else. I have a lot of work to do. I have to go Instacart tomorrow in the next few days. It's going to be a blizzard, I think. But you have to do what you have to do. And right now, that's to make sure that I'm balanced and I'm ready to take on this future. Sweet dreams. I actually don't know how to end this because I'm inside the VR headset. And it's kind of awkward, actually. Hold on. Technically this should be ended by now, but we're gonna get really close, and I'm just gonna talk to you really, really close. Look up at the stars. Actually, my headset is almost dead, but I'll probably charge it and get back on later playing games. Thank you for listening. We are, I don't know if you can see my menu. Like I said, I am not good at this. I will be, though. See how it says join me? I don't know if you can see that, but it says join me, and not a single one of you join me. You should make a friend of me in VR. Right, Zorn? Yeah. Oh, I promise I'm going to be around. I have no idea what I'm doing. It's 10:30. Oh, I am definitely going to be charging this headset and getting back on later. Maybe I'll play some Alien, or maybe, oh, I know. I'll play Overwatch. I'll get Ez in there. He's awesome. Like, you guys don't understand how awesome Ez is. He's always supportive and crazy cool. So, thank you, everybody who's been here and watching and listening to me ramble. This has been my first VR live stream. I hope it worked out okay. I don't know how I'm going to end this, so I'm going to sit, and I'm gonna look through my little nose piece, and I'm gonna go over here to my Streamlabs, and I'm going to say, where are you? You all know you're awesome.